getting into chapter 86, okay? Obviously that wasn't, you know, older drawn, but it was pretty damn cool. But anyway, man, chapter 86 was pretty interesting because it opens up with this cool color spread where Zoro is like, I have to get to Luffy, and you see how he's just on his last limb. And Sanji tells him, like, look, man, if you go into the water right now, as you are, you'll die. And it's because of those wounds, man. And because, you know, you got salt water and stuff, that's absolutely the worst place for him to be. But just looking at this right here, the amount of determination he's got, man. Like, and when I said colored in, like, you know, there's more shading in this, so I consider that to be a color page. But all along looks pissed that Hachi has been defeated, but just right there, you can tell that Zoro knows that that is a suicide mission for him to go in like that. And just right here, when Sanji says, I know that there's no time, I'm not stopping you because I know that all too well, crap swordsman, or as you guys have told me, he's really saying shit swordsman. Right there, Zoro knows, like, hold on, something's afoot, something's about to happen. And so when you see the next sequence of events where Sanji basically throws caution to the wind and jumps into the water. Oh man, like Sanji, that takes balls because he basically left land where he has the advantage and he goes underwater. And Zoro's like, you idiot, that's what they want you to do. They want you to go into the water. They want you to fight there. And that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, it's like, okay, you're going to go in there. Your body's going to weigh more. And because you are so far down underwater, when you get close to where Luffy is, your punches are not going to have as much force behind them. Your kicks are not going to have as much force in Sanji's case because he uses kicks. And this is the thing about that, right? Sanji gets to a point where he's like, oh man, this is pretty smart what the headman and Nami's sister are doing. They're trying to save Luffy, you know, and that was smart what they were doing. You know, Nojiko actually stretches Luffy's neck, and that's like the good thing about him being rubber. She stretches his neck to get him above water where he can breathe, and the village headman is basically performing CPR on him. So very smart, and the fact that they can't speak underwater, but they were in that good coordination together, oh, that's beautiful right there. But this is the thing. When Sanji gets down there, he's just like, I'll shatter that rock and let the old man, the Genzo, do what he got to do, right? Well, right away I'm going, there's no way in hell your kicks will pack that much of a punch that far underwater. And so when the guy that he's fighting goes down into the water, that's the first thing that he ends up saying when he's talking shit to him. You know, he elbows him in the back of the neck and kind of sends Sanji through. And he's like, I'm going to take care of the Genzo, and then Luffy's going to die, and then I'll get this chick too. And then I'll get that traitor Nami. Like, he's all over the place with his shit talking. It's when he hits the Nami button, I really feel like things kind of change, because we see this pretty cool sequence of events where basically the guy's using fishman karate and he's beating the hell out of Sanji. But once he says, I'm going to get that traitor Nami too, if you'll look, like I said, in Team 4-Star, they have the Goku button for Vegeta. That's the Nami button, man. With as hard as he's crushing on Nami, there's no way in hell you threaten Nami in front of him, because he's literally trembling with rage. And this is where my respect for Sanji definitely goes through the roof a lot, because he understands he's at a disadvantage. He knows he can't go blow for blow with this guy. And if he was up on land, he probably could have got the advantage. But at the same time, what he's doing is he's analyzing the situation. And right away, he figures out something I didn't even pay attention to. Because they're half man, half fish. When they're on land, they breathe through their lungs. And when they're in the water, they breathe through the gills like regular fish. So Sanji purposely lets him land all these blows on him, right? And his whole reasoning for it is we can get closer to the land. And once we get close to the land, Sanji puts his mouth over his gills and breathes air into the gills, because that would kill a fish to have air inside the gills. That's why, like, when fish get on land, that's why they end up dying so quickly. They flap and they die. And very smart on Sanji's part, because once you blow all that water, not that water, all that air into the fish man, you got a very short window to get your ass back above water. That way you can get back on land. If he did that too far down, he would end up drowning. And at first I was like, man, if he ends up finishing him off, I was about to rant like I did in the Bleach review, where I found out that my suspicion about Yuha Bach dying over some bullshit of him going to sleep or potentially dying that way. I was about to rant, okay? And just to see the fishman come through the water like that, now I see why they say Oda is damn near like a god, because he knows better than to end things on that level. Again, that's good writing on that part. But when Sanji gets above water, like Zoro, that whole thing about crewmanship, that was nice to see that. But when Zoro's looking at him, you can tell that the first thing Zoro is really thinking and worried about is, if you're above water, then what does that mean for Luffy? And he was down there for a long time, because Johnny and them did say, Brother Cook hasn't come up. And so that was really, really nice to kind of see that, how Zoro and Sanji are working together. And again, it just blows my mind that there's this divide between Zoro and Sanji fans, because from what I can see, they make a pretty damn good team together. Like both of them could be leaders in their own right, and yet they're working together. And just getting into Sanji, I didn't know he could throw down like this. Like, I knew that he had kicks, but I didn't think he was as skilled in combat. And it makes sense because, the old man from the Barate did train him. But, Sanji basically says, I'm going to quit playing with you. And he goes through these sequence of attacks and they're all in French. And I'm not going to try and pronounce them and butcher them, but the attacks are all in French. And just seeing the way he's using his legs, and it's amazing, because any basis for martial arts, most of them deal with the legs and put emphasis on using body weight. And when you look at Sanji's attacks, that's exactly what he's doing. I mean, this is really good. Just watching all of this. At one point he just drops the hammer down on this dude, man. Like, it almost looks like he clubbed him in the back of the neck. Like, Sanji is giving him attacks that, when you look at him, he's picking them apart in a methodical fashion. And just right here, when he pops around on his side and he's winding up, look at that, man. Kicks him right there. Looks like either in the ribs or in the chest, but he sends the dude flying. And Sanji, true to Sanji fashion, says, I guess you won't be needing any dessert. Sanji is giving kicks that Chuck Norris and Liam Neeson would appreciate, because those are some badass kicks. Like, oh man, this was real good just to see that, and just how Sanji ends the chapter, with that little comment right there. That was golden. Sanji fanboys, you got your moment. But overall, man, this was a pretty good chapter. Didn't really go as in detailed and in depth as I usually do, because this was an action chapter. But overall, man, like I said, I like the review. Starting next week, I'll start giving these ratings and everything. But overall, let me know what you think in the comment section below. My chapter question for you is going to be this: what did you think about Nojiko and Genzo being able to work together to save Luffy without actually being able to talk? That's it for this review. If you liked anything I had to say, as always, comment, rate, subscribe, and share. I greatly appreciate it. That's it. Thanks for watching Kryptonian saying. Have an awesome day.
灰色の人